What is up, you guys? I just walked out front, set my coffee cup down, and I'm about to open up a couple boxes. I don't actually know that I'm going to carry these up to the greenhouse right now because I'm carrying my camera and my coffee in priorities. So I am going to open them though because I need to get them out of these boxes. So this package arrived. It's been like 2 days ago, which is why I'm saying I got to get them out of these boxes. And though I'm having a lot of plants delivered and a lot of stuff getting here that I'm very, very excited about, what is in these boxes may be the most exciting plant delivery of all. I just knocked this down the front steps. It's fine, everything's fine. Surprisingly fine, in fact. Everything looks really good in here. It wasn't actually fully okay. This one broke a little bit. Mostly it's just the little stick in it that gives it support broke, but it did snap off the end of one of these. It'll be okay. It'll still bush out and grow. So these lovely things are 6 rose plants. And before I tell you what rose it is, I feel like I should give you some backstory as to why some roses would be my most exciting delivery on my farm. So a few years ago, Maya bought me 2 roses. Maya and the boys bought me 2 roses for Mother's Day. Just got them at Lowe's, picked them out. This was before I had been introduced to the bougie world of old roses and the David Austins and all of the lovely heritage roses that date back hundreds of years and are very quintessentially English. Like those, there's kind of a couple of different camps when it comes to roses. And I'll tell you this, I'm not snobby about it. I like them both. I can't even pretend to be the kind of cultured person who could turn her nose up at any rose, because I'm not. There are like these fighter jets. This is a little squirrel trail. There are like these fighter jets that keep flying over our house. We're outside Columbia, South Carolina, like 40 minutes or so outside of the city. What is that? Does anybody know that's local? In Arkansas, we live by Air Force Base, so I was used to it. It's happened a lot, so I'm wondering, is there like an air show? I don't know what it is, and I tried to Google it and I didn't find anything. So, back to my roses, my precious roses. Maya bought me a couple of roses in Arkansas for Mother's Day, and I planted them because I wanted something that grew over the front gate of the garden. And I almost took them out the first year because they were so slow going. I almost took them out and planted morning glories instead, I'll admit that. I'm so glad that I didn't, because in the coming years they turned into the most majestic display of beauty, fragrance. They were amazing. And so I did not do any research for those because of putting them on that garden gate. And I mean, they're great roses anyway, but you know, their name got out in front of a lot of people. I shared it in all of the garden tours. And I tried to take some cuttings from the original ones, but I think it was the wrong time of year, and just in the hustle and bustle of moving, they may have gotten too dry, and they ended up not doing well. And I have been looking for these roses, but they've been sold out everywhere. I've not been able to get them. And a viewer actually posted on a video recently, Jess, I finally snagged some Tangerine Skies Arbor roses. You know, they've been sold out for the last few years from you. You know, you've been talking about them, and I finally got some at Heirloom Roses. And so unknowingly, I actually ended up having a few people message me within that next couple of days. I had already ordered them at that point, saying, hey, I finally got Arbor Roses. Heirloom Roses finally had them. And so these are Tangerine Skies Arbor Roses. And yes, I bought 6 of them. And just kind of as an ode to the original Roots and Refuge, I really wanted my garden gates to have these roses growing over them. They became very symbolic to me of the importance of waiting for vision to come to pass, because I had this vision, this idea in my heart of having these beautiful full roses covering this arbor and this gate. to walk through into the entry of the garden, and I wanted it so badly, and my own impatience almost cost me the fulfillment of that. And so that's something that I really wanted to have here, and I finally got some. So I got 6 because there's actually, the garden belt's so long, there's going to be 3 different entry points with 3 different gates with arbor roses on each side. And I'll tell you, I have since gotten into those fussy roses, but I still love a good, you know, I still love like a good $8 rose bush from Walmart. You know, like I probably like embarrassing to the people who were like genuinely rose snobs, but having grown some of both of those, like the beautiful, the rare, the, you know, very delicate. I've grown a lot that are on rootstock, which means they're grafted on. There are so many different qualities of roses. It's just another world, and I love it. I love roses. They're very special to me. But I will tell you that if you are a new gardener that wants roses, these arbor roses, and I haven't grown any of the other varieties. They have others. They have like a really pretty purple one, I remember. They've got like a red one and a pink one. And this is like the orange. In my experience with this one, it was very hardy, very fast growing. It didn't get sick. The bugs, for the most part, left it alone. I've not gotten into managing roses with any chemicals, and I know that blows people's mind. I hope that I'm as fortunate here on this farm as I was on my last farm. I never had any issues. I did fertilize them regularly, and just, I guess if they started to get kind of spots on their leaves, I would remove those and take them away from the plant, so maybe that kept disease from spreading. But I wasn't like spraying pesticides or herbicides or anything like that on them. And while under my slightly negligent organic care, my roses all did pretty well. Some were definitely more impressive than others, and the tangerine arbor rose, the tangerine skies arbor rose, I think was the most impressive of all. And that's why I wanted to put it on these gates here as well. I mean, just kind of for the sentimental value, but also because I know that if I fertilize it throughout the year, it keeps blooming throughout the year. The big flush in the spring, but then it did have continual blooms. I fertilized in Arkansas, I fertilized that one every 6 weeks to keep it blooming, and it was just so impressive and beautiful. So I'm super happy to have these guys here. I just opened this package that came from Etsy. I found these and ordered them just because they were a suggested perennial to just get established to have food security. I really want to explore the things you can grow that just get established and that then you can eat, that aren't necessarily like seasonal crops, but things like Jerusalem artichokes. And then these are called Chinese artichokes. And they just grow these really neat looking tubers. And I looked it up online, and I was watching different YouTube videos of people like eating these and talking about them, and they said they taste a lot like jicama. Kind of like a real crunchy, fresh, you eat them just plain. And somebody was talking about how you can marinate them and like make kind of a salad and eat them raw. I don't know. Do you have any experience with these? I'd love to hear about it. We're going to plant them. And I think this will be something I plant in like a little Vigo bed. Maybe one of the smaller round ones, you know, once we get those ready. Yeah, I read that these could be pretty invasive, just so that they don't take over a spot. I figured I could put them there, and then if we really like them, we want more, we can move them to a larger space. If we don't really love them, we could, you know, not just have a little bit. Either way, they're pretty dang cool looking. What do you think, Malia?
About those?
Yeah.
They look weird.
They look weird?
They remind me of like inchworms.
Yeah, they do kind of have that look to them. So I noticed you got kind of excited over there. What did you find?
My atomic grape tomatoes.
Your atomic grape tomatoes.
There's 6 of them right here.
Right here, yeah, there they are. Brad's atomic grapes. The year that these were on Baker Creek's catalog's cover, which has been like, I think 5 years ago, I grew them for the first time, and Malia loved them. And so she would go down there, and as soon as there were any that were ripe, she would pick them. They were her favorite cherry tomatoes, so I've been starting them for her since then. Alright, I'm going to have Malia try a kumquat. Have you ever had a kumquat?
No.
No. So you eat the whole thing, skin and all. It does have seeds, but just...
So you just bite it?
Yeah, just bite it.
Oh, it's sour.
But also kind of sweet. You can save the seeds. Me and Will have been planting them. It's so funny. I was looking at some kumquats and Will was saying, he's like, yeah, Noah ate one and I just saved the seeds and planted it. I saved the seeds and planted the ones that I had gotten to. So we'll have some little kumquat babies. So Will, you've been here for a month now. A little over a month. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about your office, your workspace?
It's great. I love it.
Will's been starting some really cool stuff.
I have zero complaints.
I'm glad. Malia, do you like really sour stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, pull one of these, one of the oranger ones that you can find. This is calamonded, and I'm telling you, this is the warheads of the citrus world.
I'm scared.
You should be. There you go, that's a good one.
Scared. I'm genuinely scared.
You might genuinely should be. It's pretty rough.
Okay.
It's pretty sour, huh?
It's so good though.
Yeah, okay. I almost threw up.
You almost threw up?
I had a little bit of a reaction.
Oh, it's making my jaw clench.
Yeah, it was really more than it made my jaw clench. It was like a kind of like a kick in the face. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think it would be really good for flavoring things.
I want this in my lemonade.
Yeah, people were giving me recipe ideas. It's calamonded.
Yeah, a lot of Filipino
recipes, yeah. That's what people said. Sweet Maya. Let's go down there and talk to him. Alright guys, so I mentioned that I had a lot of plants coming to you. And today, Jeremiah got the call from the freight driver that drives the semi-truck for FedEx and delivers things to confirm the order of the things. And he said, he hung up the phone and he said, so this is what it's come to? We're literally having loads of plants so large that they require a semi-truck to deliver them. And I said, yeah, we are. So I feel a little sheepish about this, but also completely elated. There's the sound of a threatened alpaca. There's a lot of plants, especially considering many of them are very small. Yeah. Y'all want to look at it? Let's look at what's in here. I mean, I know what's in here because I ordered it, but cute names.
Yeah. One of them's where I'm from.
Oh, really?
Las Vegas.
Oh, I don't remember what all the names are, but I know roughly what I ordered.
Drops of Jupiter.
Molly, if you want to stack those pots up just kind of like over here, that'd be great.
Yeah, I built it up in my head.
There's going to be like a massive...
Yeah, more than it was.
It's a lot of plants, but a lot of them are small. If you want to start opening these boxes, that would be great. Well, that's darling, isn't it? Those, I think, are hollyhocks, actually. Are they Alcea?
Yeah.
Yep. These are hollyhocks. It's a flower. It's a biennial flower. Yeah, you can take the tray out. You can either set them on any space inside the greenhouse. There's the empty table.
So all of these are already started? All these, like these are actually
some of these
plants?
are bare root. Yeah. And we need to keep all of this cardboard because it's all nice and
Yes, ma'am.
plain.
I have a ton of cardboard that's like big boxes at my house if you want it.
Yes, I do want it. You know what those are?
Sure don't.
Smell it and tell me.
Time? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, I guess I don't smell anything right now.
Oh, I could have told you that.
That's lavender. Those are
echinacea.
echinacea. This is black pearl heuchera. Yep. Look at that foliage. Perfect to go around a black greenhouse. Alright, so it's the next day after my big plant delivery. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this and show you guys what is going on out here. So here are a ton of plants. Of course, the stuff in the middle is our Stark Brothers stuff. But around the edges are all freshly potted up things. And then over here, as well as kind of on the shelves and stuff, these are all started plants. While we're joking about a semi-load of plants being delivered, it wasn't a semi-load, it was one pallet, but it was delivered on a very large truck and required a forklift to bring it in. And everybody's giving me a hard time about being the plant lady that bought that many plants. But basically what I did was I went through a nursery supply that sells started proven winners plants, and I purchased them kind of as a precursor. So I've kind of hinted a couple of times about us moving into the direction of having a brick and mortar presence. And one of the things that is going to be in our future is big plant sales. And we will probably be doing some sort of plant sale this year. I haven't worked out exactly what the details of that are going to be. It may just look like a farmer's market booth. But I wanted to kind of buy some of these wholesale plants, work on potting them up. A lot of them came as bare roots or very small plants that you have to pot up. You can see here. And I am working on that with Will. And it was basically sort of like a trial run. How does this work? How are we going to get into this? Because we're basically getting into a business that we don't really have experience in the commercial side of. The only plants I've ever sold have been because I started them from seed. And obviously we're still doing a lot of that, but I wanted to kind of just look at what the options were, especially for like perennial things that are a lot more complicated to start from seed. A lot of times they're started from cuttings, propagations, all of that. And I'm really happy with this. I feel very excited about it. And we're also using these plants to establish our spaces. So buying them wholesale and selling some of them, preparing for the future where we're going to sell a lot of them. Now I will be able to prepare my spaces that are going to be these classroom spaces. But yes, there are so many plants right now. I'm just absolutely tickled silly. Oh, and check this out. Okay, so y'all see the clawfoot tub? I've been looking everywhere for the perfect clawfoot tub, and my friend Miss Anita, here are the legs for it right here, she actually had this and gave it to me as a gift. And I'm so excited because I've had this idea to have a clawfoot tub. Probably we're going to keep it somewhere in this greenhouse. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to utilize that. I've thought a couple of different things. Either to just like have it in here to hold like bags of soil in. Potentially to put something in it and plant it. I don't know yet. I might just put bags of soil in it and maybe like set a couple of planters in there, but we're gonna put the legs back on it. I'm pretty tickled about that. How cute is that? I've just been sitting out here in this greenhouse while it's so full of life, and I'm just completely dumbfounded by it. I keep wanting to take pictures of it and take videos of it, and then I look at the pictures and the videos and I'm like, it just doesn't do it justice. It's so beautiful. I'm so enamored by this and just being surrounded by growing things, and the smell in here, guys, it just smells like springtime in life. Some other things I got was some heuchera, I think I showed that earlier, echinacea, some ornamental oreganos, basically things that would be great for a potager garden, because if I keep it or if I sell it, that's really what I want. If I'm growing something that's not to eat, I want it to support the spaces where I'm growing things to eat. It doesn't always have to be that way. I love things just for the sake of beauty. I love cut flowers and colorful, beautiful things. But I really, for a perennial sake, I really wanted to plant things that would come back year after year and support a healthy population of pollinators. Out here I've got some hibiscus. I went to Dallas last summer. It was before we moved, and my friend Matthew came down from Ohio. You guys might remember that. And we went to the Proven Winners Test Garden at the Botanical Gardens in Dallas, and I saw this exact hibiscus plant. It's called Perfect Storm, and it was really big, and it has this really dark dramatic foliage and these really like pale pink hibiscus flowers that are huge with this like deep pink inside. So dreamy. And that was something I really wanted to grow. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is this pink lemonade baptisia. So this is, again, like really a pollinator plant. Something that's gonna come back, it's gonna bring pollinators to the garden that would be nice to cut and add into bouquets, but that's really just gonna have a presence. So I actually already grabbed a couple of those and put them in the flower bed in front of my house, but I'm gonna work some more in to these spaces. Oh, and I got some rhubarb too. That's something that I had some people tell me that you can't grow here because it's too hot, but Will grows it, and so I'm gonna grow it because I love rhubarb. Strawberry rhubarb. One thing I can tell you for sure is that thinking about all the food that's going to come from all of these plants, I just get so hungry when I come out here. It's going to be awesome. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. You know, if I was going to share that I'm buying plants by the truckload with anybody, it's you that I love to share it with. Thank y'all for hanging out with me every time you do. I'm bless you. Until next time.